heading, we discuss about the nature of absolutes, monarchies, and feudalism in Europe and Asia. Topic is first one absolute monarchies in Europe. An absolute monarchy was a form of government in which an all powerful king or queen rules a state. This form of government was popular in Europe toward the end of the medieval period all the way up to through the 18th century. Rulers in an absolute monarchy had total control over the country. Most believed that they had the divine right to rule, meaning that the God created the monarchy they ruled over and they alone were God representative on earth. This monarch rule for life and power was passed down through bloodlines, meaning their children ruled after them, creating a dynasty. Next topic, causes of absolutism. Before the time of all powerful monarchs, Europe and decentralized government, invention by Vikings and other barbarian groups created fear amongst the population. This created a perfect environment for all powerful leaders to rise. Next topic, effects of absolutism. Once absolute monarchs gained power, they began to consolidate or reinforce their power within their borders. They would set up large royal courts. They were extended royal household, including all those who regularly attend to the monarch and royal family. Monarch would do this in order to appear more powerful and to control the nobility. They also regulated rebellion to control the spread of ideas. If monarch could control what the people were hearing, they could keep their power. Large bureaucracy were also created in order to control the economy. Next topic, how absolute was their rule? How powerful a king or queen was dependent on the state in questions. England, Poland, and the Holy Roman Empire were less absolutist. The rulers in these states shared power with a legislative branch known as parliament. The people had greater freedoms and limits were placed on the ruler's power. At the other end of the scale, there were countries that were very absolutist, such as France and the Ottoman Empire. This state had total control by their ruler, who claimed divine rights to rule and control the nobility. The best example is Louis XVI of France, who called himself the Sun King because, like the sun was to the earth, he was to France. Then you had states that were somewhere in the middle of the scale, such as Spain and Russia. Next topic, the absolute monarch Louis XVI of France. Francis Louis XVI was born in 1638. He was the son of King Louis XIII and the Queen Anne. When King Louis XIII died in 1643, Louis XVI became king at just 4 years old. The young toddlers, mothers and regents or head ministers ruled unsuccessfully until he was old enough to rule himself. Louis XVI ruled the country of France from 1643 to 1715 at a stage 72 years, much longer than any monarch in Europe at the time. He gave himself the nickname of the Sun King because he believed he was like the sun of France. He believed he was chosen by God to rule and that everything revolved around him. He made the sun his royal symbol. During his reign, Louis XVI worked to expand France's territory. He did this through a series of wars with neighboring countries. In his 72 years of rule, he went to war with the Dutch, England, and Spain. Because of this war, King Sixteen claimed land in Central Europe for France. Other than going to war, Louis XVI would annex or absorb towns that border France, slowly increasing the size of the country. This was an annexes helped France become the most dominant country on the mainland of Europe. Next topic, Peter the Great of Russia. Peter the Great was the Caesar or monarch of Russia from 1682 until he died in 1725. During his reign, he worked to modernize Russia and transform it into an empire that rivaled anything in Europe. He instituted a series of reforms to make Russia more closely resemble European state, brought the church under his control, moved the capital and consolidated his power by taking it from the noble class. Westernizations. When Peter was a young man, he traveled extensively through the kingdoms of Europe. He visited schools, factories, and shipyards, among other things, learning all about how the Europeans did things. He was greatly impacted by the what he saw. During his reign, he worked to make Russia seem more European. This is called Westernization because he sought to make things more like Western Europe, countries of France and Great Britain. Peter started newspapers, opened schools, and even forced the men of Russia to shave their long beards to seem more like the Europeans. Next topic, the Orthodox Church. Before Peter the Great's rule, the church in Russia, known as the Orthodox Church, acted independently from the government. The church operated under a head priest known as Patriarch. When Peter the Great came to power, he fundamentally changed how the church was run. He built several new churches. He also removed the patriarch as head of the church, bringing it under state control. Next, St. Petersburg. One important part of the rule of Peter the Great was that he moved the capital from Moscow to St. Petersburg in 1712. One of Peter the Great's goals was to transfer Russia into a maritime or seafaring empire. He greatly increased the size of Russia's navy. The move from Moscow to St. Petersburg helped this because St. Petersburg is located along the Baltic Sea. This also greatly increased trade, which is most important for the growth of any empire. Next topic, the boyars. As with many of the other absolute monarchy of this time, Russia had a group of rich landowners who belonged to the nobility. This noble called the boyars held a great deal of power in Russia. The boyars disagreed with many of Peter's the Great reforms to make Russia seem more European. Many of them wanted to keep with traditional Russian values and traditions. Peter the Great began to heavily tax this group as a way to take their power away, even instituting a beer tax. This worked to take away the power of the boyars and centralize his own. Next topic is King Philip II of Spain. King Philip II of Spain ruled over the Kingdom of Spain from 1556 to 1598. When he inherited the throne, Spain's territory included the Netherlands, part of France, Portugal, Italy, and the newly claimed Spain Americas. He oversaw the most prosperous time for the Spanish Empire. However, this mostly came from utilizing indigenous population and plundering in the New World. Due to several costly wars and defeats, the Spanish Empire also started to decline toward the end of Philip's reign. His rule can best be categorized as the rise and fall of the Spanish Empire. Next, rise. The three major events led to rise of King Philip's Spanish Empire. The first one is defeat of the Ottomans at Lepanto in 1571 by the Spanish Armada. The Ottoman Empire attempted to expand into Europe through the Mediterranean Sea. The Spanish Armada sail met the Ottoman fleet off the coast of Greece and defeated them. This prevented Ottoman expansion into Europe and allowed Spain to keep all of its territory. The second reason for the rise of King Philip was the resources being brought back from the Americas in the 1570. The Spanish Empire claimed vast chunks of all land in what is now South and Central America in the early 1500s. By the 1570s, they were bringing back millions worth of gold and silver to Spain every year. This is the turn fueled wars for the expansion of the Spanish Empire. Lastly, King Philip seized Portugal shortly after their king died. In 1580, the Portuguese king Henry passed away, leaving on no heir or successor. King Philip took this opportunity to seize Portugal for Spain. Spain controlled Portugal, its main rival, on their Iberian Peninsula for 60 years. Next, decline. The 5070 was an important time for King Philip and the Spanish Empire. As stated, many events helped lead to King Philip's increase in power, but also it was the beginning of the end. In 1579, seven Dutch provinces declared independence from Spain. The war between Spain and Dutch provinces lasted until 1648. Another reason for the decline of King Philip and the Spanish Empire was the famous defeat of the Spanish Armada. At this time, the Spanish Armada was considered by most to be the most powerful fleet in the world. It was called the Grande Filica Armada, means great and most fortunate navy. In 1588, it was sailing towards England to overthrow Queen Elizabeth I and stop English interference in the Spanish Netherlands. However, the fleet was hit by a major storm before heading into battle with the English navy. English ships attacked the weakened armada and fired faster and more maneuverable than the largest Spanish galleons. Many ships were wrecked on the coast of Scotland and Ireland, and more than a third of the initial 130 ships failed to return home to Spain. The last reason for the decline of the Spain Empire under King Philip II was due to bankruptcy, or simply put, they ran out of money. The Spanish were engaged in various wars and expansion throughout the reign of King Philip II. In 1596, Spain was forced to declare bankruptcy for the fourth time.